Spend a lot of time looking into the archives of artists I really admire, but also archives of the experience of Black queer folk. I'm kind of interested in the resonances, the connections and the distinctions between, how we have lived and how we continue. So here we are in my studio at Gasworks in London. This is where, I would say the sonic aspects and the more technological aspects of my practice unfold. Sound plays a really fundamental role in my work. In the earlier works, I was really kind of collaging and piecing together sounds from, popular culture, music references that for me, really collapsed some of the concerns I was having, or kind of the things that I wanted to speak to around gender, around race, around what it is to be, positioned in particular ways. I've become very rigorous, I would say, in keeping my own archive. This is one of probably about 6 boxes of material where I keep hold of all the things that I do. This is the brochure for a show called That's So Gay Come Together in Toronto, where I was invited to show the gender song. The gender song is me reflecting on gender, the experience of it, what it is to navigate it, but then also having this interest in club culture and wanting to also make that visible in the work.
Riding a tractor in a ballet skirt, some do try to lift it up, so I pushed him in the dirt.
Some of my most foundational and transformative experiences with music have actually been experiencing it with a sound system outside in nature. Where I grew up, we call them site parties. There's something about connecting with the earth, being right by, this really amazing and powerful sound system and being surrounded by people who are also having this experience. And the energy in a space like that is, I feel like that energy is an energy I'm often trying to tap into. Ritual Without Belief is a work that I first birthed into the world in 2018. An alter ego that I use for myself is the Oceanic Sage, a very watery person, quite emotionally led, and so I wanted something of that to be in the space. I kind of early on knew that I wanted to push myself to create a sound-led exhibition. And as part of that process, I was also doing research into Black queer women-led social life. I was really garnering all this kind of wisdom and information around, the kind of the meeting point between one's pleasure and one's politics. And so this idea of a sound system came to mind.
Oh, perfect. You are doing exactly what you need.
It's something, that a community really takes ownership, and specifically Black communities, historically have taken ownership. And so there was something about that legacy that I wanted to really kind of imbue the work with. And then we had, the second space, where the centerpiece for me was the photograph by Ajamu X, bodybuilder with bra. It was a work that had really stayed with me since my own education at art school, and I'd never experienced it in the flesh. For me, there was an urge or a need to really kind of acknowledge my connection to him in the present. And again, it was also me kind of, connecting with this idea of the archive. Just this real desire to make connections, to bridge gaps and to acknowledge that actually we are here, and we are plenty. The photograph is also framed by balloons on the ceiling, which was a nod to the Loft, the club in New York, where they played mostly house music, and it was very much queer-led and queer-friendly. There's something about the image of seeing people in the peak of their enjoyment kind of framed by the ceiling of balloons. It's just a really beautiful image to me, and there was something about that I wanted to call in. As I was developing this show, I produced this series of what I call research images. This one is called Number One, Start from a Place of Abundance. And, this is the question or the statement that really grounded the whole exhibition. What does it mean to start from a place of abundance rather than scarcity or lack, which as subjects who are perceived as marginal by the dominant society, I think we can often find ourselves doing things from a position of scarcity. And so I'm kind of, with the show and with everything I do now, I'm thinking, how do we start from a place of abundance? Thinking through this idea that actually between us, we have everything we need. Between us, we are abundant. That inquiry is really foundational to every single thing I do now. Ritual Without Belief and the gender song being purchased by Arts Council was my first UK public collection, and it was really exciting for me because for me it's really about the work living on and being able to be seen. As I grow and develop, the work changes, the work shifts. If I look at these two works, the gender song and Ritual Without Belief, for me, they're worlds apart. And in a way, the work that I'm building and developing now is, in a way, a little bit of a world apart from Ritual Without Belief. Marking this point in time through a public collection is really important for me.